Hi all, this is Sia Nas and welcome to episode 57 of the Diary of Sia Nas. So of course there's always drama before I start, and the drama today is I've got a green screen. I'm trying out green screen, but the problem is the material that I've got behind me is quite cheap green material, so I've got like 10 pieces of tape in place, and you have to have like for it to be like a solid green color, and I've got shadows and things behind me, and I've just been trying to smooth out the fabric and try to get rid of these dark patches. So it's just an experiment. We'll see how it goes. It's taken me forever to do. I think I need to get some nice green material that's really thick, and then that way it will sit better on the wall and it won't take me so long, and hopefully I can get a better layer, like a nice flat layer. And I've also got the camera on a tripod. Usually I have the camera on my laptop, but it shakes a lot, and you also get like a side view. I'm sort of sitting on the side, but now with this the camera on this tripod, I'm straight on, so I'm not sitting on an angle. So this is very different. I actually feel like I'm talking to a camera, as before I had it on my laptop and I could see myself, but now it's not on the laptop. I can see like my bookshelf and the halo light. So it's very different today. So, and I've got my microphone away, a bit further away, because I find that you can hear when I swallow and just different noises that I'm making. So I've put the microphone away to try and get rid of some of that, but it's a very good microphone, and it picks up everything. It's a Shure SM58, which is used like all around the world, and which Bono uses as well when he records in the studio. So it's not really a studio mic, it's more like a stage mic, but you can use it wherever you want, and I find it works really well. It catches everything. So got my purple fluffy llama diary ready to go. Got some nice bright pink eyeshadow. I was going through Instagram and I just saw this post of this girl with this beautiful pink eyeshadow and some nice black eyeliner. I haven't perfected that eyeliner yet. Hers was very dramatic, and I thought it might look a bit weird if I did that, but I sort of pretty much got the look down. And I used the conspiracy palette from Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. Conspiracy, or is it a controversy? It's the main palette that they did. So I used that one. So let's start with the week. Started on 3rd of February, so we're into February. And on Monday, so when I'm looking down, I'm looking at my diary. So on Monday, I edited the podcast as usual, and I edited the song Thunder Rolls, which is the beat of the week, well, which was the beat of the week last week. And there's different versions of it, because every time I listen to it, I keep changing it. So the Thunder Rolls that you heard on the audio podcast is different to what's on the video podcast, so you can hear two different versions. On the video, I put some 808s. I added some 808s to that one, just a nice thump in there. Like, if you listen for it, you can hear I didn't make it so that it was that you could like really hear it, but I could feel that beat. So I uploaded it, and then I promoted the podcast. And on Monday, I also went and saw Bombshell with Margot Robbie, Charlize. Actually, I think her surname is pronounced Thron, but we say Theron, but it's actually Thron. So Charlize Thron, I want to say it properly, because she's South African and that's how they pronounce it. And Nicole Kidman. Not a very big fan of Nicole Kidman. Don't really like the sort of movies that she makes. And she wasn't really a standout in this movie. I think Margot Robbie and Charlize were like really the best in this. So and I found it really quite unsettling and quite uncomfortable to watch. I think a lot of women have got a Me Too story, and it's really quite disappointing, but there you go. I also got the prototypes of my invention have been made but need to be fine-tuned. I got some prototypes, so my invention is on its way now. I got some prototypes in hand, and I don't think I picked it up on Monday though. Let me check my diary, my calendar. No, I didn't. I picked them up on Thursday, but they were made on Monday. I must have contacted the designer. They were made on Monday, and he made them in a few different colors, but we can talk about that on Thursday. I did some painting as well, and that was Monday. So a bit of everything, bit of podcasting, a bit of editing it might be, watched a movie, and then did some painting at home, and my prototype, working on my prototype. And then on Tuesday, I edited Thunder Rolls again. This is really bad when you're touching a beat too much. It's just better to be done with it and then move on to the next one, because then you get better as you go. Because what you find is that you start doing the same thing to each of them, and then it's like, what can I do different? And then you learn, and then you do something a little different, and then you learn, you do something a little different. So I'm finding that it's a good idea to try to do the best you can, but not be perfect. You're never going to get a perfect beat. It's just good to work on a beat for a little while and then move on. And usually for me, a little while is like a week. I touch a few hours every day. But I'm getting better at it, but I just need to put more time into it. I just need to make it more of a priority, and I'm hoping to do that this year. So that's my priorities, to make beat making more of a priority. Also went to doctor's appointment with my dad, so didn't get good news there, but we're just waiting for another appointment in March to verify what we heard on Tuesday. And then I continued to paint this wall. We've got a little brick wall in the backyard, and it's probably like an arm's length, and I've been painting that. It's really dirty, so by the time you clean it, then you paint it, then you clean it, then you paint it. It took me a long while. I didn't even finish it. I just got fed up on Tuesday, and then Dad kind of took over on Wednesday. He, came back to us. So I painted the wall, and I edited the YouTube video on Tuesday, because then on Wednesday the YouTube video gets uploaded of my podcast. And when my video got uploaded, I got a copyright claim case from YouTube saying that somebody's claimed something in my beat that's there, so I can't monetize. So with all my podcasts that go up, I monetize them. I'm not like making a mozza, but a couple of dollars per video, which is, it all counts. So, and I think it's the blue sample in Thunder Rolls that they claimed. But then when I uploaded the beat on Friday, the beat itself did not get a claim. It's just the claim came in the podcast, so I'm really unsure why that happened. Just double checking that everything's working fine over that side. So that's where I can see the audio is recording fine and the video is working fine. So yeah, I got the copyright claim. I've gotten one before, but it's not like a strike. It's they're like they say to you in the email, don't worry, it's you're not in trouble. We're just letting you know somebody's put a copyright claim on your video, and if you want to argue against it, just let them know. But they said you can argue against it, but then if you want to take it further after they've responded to your argument, then they're like, you could get in trouble. So I only did once, did I argue, and then I thought it's not worth getting into trouble for. I'm still fairly new. There's not like millions of people listening, so it doesn't matter, and it's just, goes by the wayside. So that was with Thunder Rolls. And then I started a beat called Sunset. and I was listening to an Eminem track on his album Music to Be Murdered By, and it had a lot of hi-hats on it, and I was like, oh, this is really nice. And I wanted to do a beat with like lots of hi-hats in it, and then I started making this beat, and then it turned into an old school type beat. So that's why it's called Sunset. It's got sort of like a old school sort of retro beat. So yeah, I just go where the beat takes me. It's not where I wanted to go. Hopefully as I keep making more beats, then they'll start going in the direction that I want them to go, not the direction they want to go. But I guess it's fun both ways. So that was Wednesday. And then on Thursdays when I visited the prototype designer, and I have to say I wasn't too happy with him because he likes to talk but he just doesn't like to work. And he even said to me, like, I'm paying him a lot of money, and he goes, oh, I'm going to have to buy a $60 can of this particular paint so that he could make the part for me. And I held my tongue, but I didn't speak at all. There was just silence. And I was thinking to myself, I'm paying you money. What are you talking about, $60? Take it from the money. What's the money that I'm paying you for? Where's that going? And he didn't say anything. He goes, oh, well, I'll have to look for some of that paint from maybe another project and I can use it on yours. So I wasn't too happy with that. And he was saying a lot of things I didn't understand. And, I didn't want to look stupid, so I didn't say anything. But I think you look more stupid when you don't. So, I mean, this is how you learn, like in business, like how to deal with people. And I think it's also difficult and I don't want to make it a thing like he's an older guy. He must be maybe 70s, maybe not that old, like late 60s. And I'm younger than him and I'm a young woman, and he's probably like, oh, she's just a silly girl, and he's older, and I don't know if he's talking down to me or what, but a lot of the things he said went over my head. And I think next time I've just got to be more assertive and say I don't understand, or just be more assertive. And it's also trying to find the fine line between being assertive and being rude, because I want him to finish it. I don't want to have to go to somebody else. And I had a warning signs at the start. He just didn't seem interested at all. And I just didn't want to go anywhere else, because then you got to get other people to sign confidentiality agreements, and then you're going all over town with confidentiality agreements. And I just didn't want to deal with that. So, but I think next time I might actually do that. Like when I get the vibe from the person they're not interested, not to stay, to go and to take the risk of getting somebody else to sign a confidentiality agreement to find someone that I like. So I think that's really important. That's something really important to take note. But you learn as you go. It's just a bit scary the first time, and you want to do it right. You don't want people to steal your idea. And yeah, so I think as soon as I can finish this, so this is getting a bit trickier now, because he was being a bit lazy too with the size of something in my prototype, and he didn't want to like fix it or do anything else. Like, no, you can't. And I'm like, this is really bad. Not only does he not want to make it in the color that I want, now he's not changing a size on it, and I'm paying him a lot of money. So it's not good. So again, it's just learning to be assertive and just talking to him, and trying not to be rude but to be assertive, get my point across, and make sure he knows, that I'm paying and he has to do what I've asked. So yeah, there's a learning process, but make sure it's important to learn as you go, not to just let things just slip by, but to learn from them. So this is one of the reasons why I'm enjoying doing these podcasts, because I can think out loud and I'm like, yeah, I'm right. So yeah, just be assertive. I also made the beat video for Instagram for Thunder Rolls, and I also did it for Slow Kill and Meep. So if you check out Instagram, you can see a little video that I made for that. So when I make the normal size one, then I have to go back and make one for Instagram, and you have to change the size, and then you have to resize everything, and then you have to save it, and then you have to upload it. So it's a whole process again. So I've got to learn not to be lazy on that. So to put it out. So I've been quite naughty not putting it out the week that the video of the beat of the week goes out. So just got to work on that. But the other beats are coming. I've done little Instagram videos for those. So that was on Thursday. And then on Friday I watched Frozen 2 with my sister, and I was excited to see it, but it was a bit weird. I'm not sure why it broke records or anything like that. It's quite dark and a bit weird. So, and spoiler alert, why she ends up in the forest with the other people is weird. That's just really weird. And the younger sister becomes a queen. I don't know. They both should have stayed in the palace. You know, if anything, it would have been the younger sister with Kristoff and the reindeer. They should have gone in the forest with the people. So I thought that was really odd. Very weird. The whole movie was really weird. And too much singing. There's too many songs in there, and they weren't even good songs. So that's just been really, really bit mean. Or not mean. I enjoyed watching the cartoon side of it, and some of the effects in there. Just amazing what they can do now. But I didn't really like the movie. And then we went to a Japanese restaurant after that where they make the food in front of you. So we had those vegetable pancakes, and they were really nice. And we had these beautiful chips, and the chips have got salt and dried seaweed flakes on them. They were delicious. I was like almost licking the bowl. And then we went to Costco. So my sister decided she wanted to go shopping. So we went to Docklands. We went to Hoyt's at Docklands where there's a new cinema. So I highly recommend it because next to no one there and it's brand new. So we went to Costco and we did some shopping. And then when I got home, I uploaded Thunder Rolls to Insta. On Thursday, I must have just made the beat video for Insta, and then Friday I uploaded it because Friday I uploaded the whole video because on Fridays it's New Music Friday and everybody usually uploads on Friday. But maybe I should stop that because I'm kind of getting lost amongst everyone else that's doing the same thing. So yeah, maybe change it to a different day. Maybe Monday, New Music Monday. Why not? And then I worked on Ableton because I have a problem with it lagging. And I got an email from Ableton, so I sent them an email asking them why is it not good. And I got an email back saying to put it through a website that looks at your computer to see how good or bad it is. And it was really bad in almost all the categories. And for my graphics card, it said terrible, and I need the graphics card to be making my videos. So and another thing was my external hard drive, which is where I save everything because my computer's quite old and I'm quite scared that it's going to crash. So I've got everything on the external hard drive, and turns out that was one of the main problems. And it kind of explains why with I've gone through quite a few external hard drives. With the previous one, the computer worked really well, but then when I got a new one, got a bug in here. But when I got the new hard drive, it slowed down again, and I didn't know what was causing it because the new hard drive was better than the old one. Well, it turns out when I put it through this program on the internet, it said that no, the older one was better. So I've moved everything from the old USB hard drive I moved it from the current one to the old one. So I've got the old one working, and it's doing really well. It's not dragging or anything. Everything looks pretty good. So yeah, I'll try and find the details of which website I put it through because it went through quite a few different categories in the computer, like with the RAM and the external hard drive and graphics card, and it rates everything. So slowly I'm going to upgrade everything. So it beats buying a new computer, which I don't have the money for. So if I can update components, it's cheaper and easier. So that's really good. And then on Saturday, I had a doctor's appointment with Mum in the morning, and then cleaned the house. And then we had a power cut. The power went out, and we all went outside to find out what happened. And walking around the corner, we saw that a tree had fallen on the power lines, and the police were there. And because it's daylight savings, we had daylight anyway, so it didn't matter. The TV was out, so what I decided to do was watch the Demi Lovato documentary Simply Complicated, which is just on YouTube. It's free and you can watch it. And it's interesting to see the problems that people have. You always think that, the pop stars and the rock stars and all that got this great life, but you see most of them have got a lot of problems, like drug and alcohol problems. And I'd heard that she had a lot of those problems. And you know what? The best thing to do is just not take drugs and alcohol, because then you have these problems and then you have to go to rehab and then you can't. You have to abstain. You have to do like Alcoholics Anonymous, and it's just not worth it. It's just easier to get a shrink and figure things out like I've done. Like, I've had enormous amounts of problems and I've never done drugs or alcohol because I knew that I had to deal with my depression and anxiety and all that. And I thought if I start drinking and all that, then you added to your depression and you've got more things that you have to deal with, and it's just not worth it. So I was like, I stayed well away from all that stuff. Not to say that I'm a better person or anything like that, but I just had enough problems that I just didn't want to add to them. So, yeah, that's just my journey, my path. And then I tested out the green screens, and the green screens that I tested out on Saturday and on Friday as well, they didn't really work out too well, but I thought I'd just give it a try. And I think I just needed stronger lighting, but then when you got stronger lighting, I got stronger lighting on my face, so my face is looking a lot paler, but I can fix all that later. Test the green screen, and yeah, I was trying to improve Ableton, so it was really good that I figured out from the help from Ableton what to do and what to look for. So I took a lot of yesterday and a bit of Friday as well. But once you figure these things out, then you don't have to go back to it. You can just move forward and work on things that are more important, but that's pretty important. And then today is Sunday, and today my nephew came over and I babysat him and we played. We had some fun, and he's the funniest kid in the whole world. He's got such a great sense of humor. And just played with my nephew. He's here for quite a few hours, and then we had dinner, and then I started on this early. And I kept the green screen up from yesterday, but then I was fine tuning it, so it's looking pretty flat, but in the corner there's a bit of crinkling. So it's trial and error with these things, but I think the best thing to do is just to get a really thick green material that will sit easier, like it will drop, because at the bottom I've put sticky tape, and when you stretch the sticky tape you stretch the material, but it's showing like creases and patches, so I don't know. So I thought maybe I should just leave it for next week, because next week, I know when I put it up this week it'll be Valentine's Day. I know next week will be, no, so the podcast I do next week will be for Valentine's Day. So I was thinking maybe to put love hearts or something, something like that. So I guess for 2 weeks in a row, you're going to have some interesting background. It might not be the best quality, but oh well, who cares? Just for the fun of it. So the beat of this week will be Sunset, and let me just double check. No, the beat of this week is going to be Smoking Hot. So the beat of this week, and that's the beat you're going to hear after the podcast, is Smoking Hot. It's a beat that I was working on from last week, and I really can't remember much about it, but I think I spoke about it last week. So Smoking Hot's just got a sample. Oh, it's got a wonderful guitar sample in there. It's a very sexy guitar sample, and it's got some other samples in there as well. So it'll be interesting to see if my podcast gets flagged, or if the beat video gets flagged. I don't know. So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. maybe share it with your friends or family or someone you think would like to hear it. Take care of yourselves. Get help if you need it. I forgot to say that last week. It's really quite important. Lifeline. See your GP. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Have a great week. And the beat you're going to hear and the beat of the week is Smoking Out. I hope you like it. Take care, and I'll speak to you guys next week. Bye.
Hmm.